We're back.
Oh my god, welcome.
Bro's like, I can be quiet, sniff loudly.
I didn't think it would pick it up.
Oh, we're back. We're back.
I didn't know I was gonna pick it up on the fucking mic, dude. This shit's sensitive.
Welcome. You're listening to the Infinite Scale podcast. I'm your host, William Chandler, joined as always by Chris Crossley and Christopher Merced. I just realized I'm still sharing my fucking screen on Discord.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna switch it. I'm gonna switch it over. Boom. That's a little peek behind the curtain. For those of you hearing this right now on audio form, you could be watching it in video form. For the first time, we've chosen to I was going to say remove the mask, but that has a bad connotation these days. I'm not going mask off about anything, but I am willing to associate my face with the horrible shit that we say here, the bad opinions that I have. When people see me in the street, they can gut me like a fish about how I feel about, I don't know, Pokemon or fucking Nintendo games or something.
And now everyone knows our host is famous, and people are going to stop Oscar Isaac on the street and be like, I heard your video game podcast.
That's true.
Oh yeah, they're gonna get you two confused with each other. That's crazy.
Mhm.
That's true. They're gonna be like, Oscar Isaac, you talk about video games, and he's gonna be like, what?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, what the fuck is a video game? We're back. We are here. Hopefully the program feed looks good. Everything looks good. You can see we have a topic list there. I forgot to set up the thing that shows what we're talking about at the moment. So we'll just...
That's okay.
That's for next time. Listen,
yeah,
constant improvement. That's what we strive for here at the Infinite Scale podcast. Video games. Some believe that they are the work of the devil. I am one of those people. I'm here to bring awareness to which ones you should avoid. Atomfall.
Avoid?
Yeah, it's too good. It's definitely the work of the devil. It's like meth. You try it one time and it ruins your whole life. Yeah, you're sucked in. I've spent the last, I don't know, what, 2 days, 3 days playing pretty much just Atomfall. You guys haven't played it at all. Is there any interest? Are you like just not? It's not your thing, or
I have some interest. I'm not gonna lie. After watching you play it, I might not play it, but not because it looked bad. I'm just like, oh, I get it.
Downstate
There's some
doctors.
cool mechanics that I saw that I didn't really ask about, but yeah, I mean, it definitely seems like a cool game.
I think if oops, I guess that doesn't really work when I'm doing this for specific things. This is I've got some footage up from an Atomfall review, a reviewer I like, Mortismal Gaming. He only reviews games when he gets to 100%. So just to kind of show some, it's kind of funny that he's showing this portion of the game because I was just playing this before we started recording. I think I understand where you're coming from, Merced. I think a lot of what Atomfall relies on to be interesting is in the early stages when you have no idea what's going on and everything seems like it could be um a mystery, you know, like something that to be uncovered. I think you guys heard me last night playing a bit where I got a little bit disenchanted, I guess, with the structure of the game, where I was like, I'm just meandering around looking for one specific thing that I don't know where it is, and I'm starting to lose patience with the way the game works. The fact that pretty much everything you do um starts to feel kind of similar at a certain point. But Crossley, this isn't your type of game at all, right?
For me, I think it would come down to I just really need to be in the mood for it, and then it'll be there. I don't know that it's not my kind of thing. It's just,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just have to have this itch, I think.
Hmm.
What would you say? I feel like I've heard you throw around Stalker a lot. Would you say this is like almost like another, like it's Stalker adjacent, or is it kind of more similar to something else I would maybe know, or is it pretty unique?
I mean, it is unique actually. It's pretty unlike a lot of things you might play, but it carries its uniqueness comes through mostly in the ways that it is similar and different from the stuff that you were mentioning, like Stalker. So Atomfall
Mm,
is essentially just a first person shooter. It has very light RPG mechanics. There's no leveling up or anything like that. There's no stats, no numbers, no character creation, nothing like that. So in that sense, it's very Stalker like in that most of your upgrades come through gear. So walking through the world, finding things, crafting things, upgrading weapons, things like that, finding new and better weapons. But I think the thing that I really came to the conclusion, which I guess is why I like it, is it's it reminds me of Far Cry 2.
mm.
Um, you guys big Far Cry 2 fans?
I never
I
really. Mhm.
I really really enjoyed Far Cry 2 whenever I played it. That was like a long time ago, but that was back when like things like fire spread was really novel. The whole idea
Yeah.
of like having to take your fucking malaria medication, all that kind of stuff, and yeah, having oh yeah, they had like it wasn't like a mercenary mechanic, right? But it was like a friend mechanic that you had. You could
Yeah.
like bring people with you and shit like that and interact with them.
Yeah, that
Yeah, that
so if you think about the structure of Far Cry 2, it was really like you have some friendly zones, basically like 2 or 3 at most. Most of the world was hostile to you. The crux of that game was kind of just going out into the environment, finding um things to, because the world was like kind of simulated. So there was constantly stuff happening, characters, groups of enemies moving around through the environments, and on patrol. They had different zones that belonged to different factions and things like that. And you know, most of your engagement with that game was okay. You start out, all of your weapons are rusty and shitty, and you have you know, malaria, and you're kind of trying to find ways to function in that environment. So buying better gear, and you know, keeping yourself kind of your head above water in terms of like uh, the medications that you need and stuff like that. It's really like very similar to that. There's not like a malaria mechanic in this, but there is a lot of like zones that have different types of status effects that you need, that basically the only way you'd be able to function is if you craft or find specific resistance tonics and things like that. So kind of like the malaria thing. And to do that, you need to go out into the world and either trade for them or craft them by finding crafting recipes, things like that. Um, it's I just like it. I have a good time playing it. I started out and was like I was very interested in it. I was pretty vocal before on the show about how interested in it I was. And I'm glad to see that it's a lot of what I thought it would be and different in a lot of ways. They really do lean into the no quest markers thing really well, I think. You really do need to read the notes, pay attention to what people are talking about, not just follow like the marker to the next um, objective. And I think that really only works because of the way that they've designed the world to be relatively small, but dense. And, it's broken up basically into like, I guess, four major zones. And you kind of just, um, you know, progress through those zones by whatever pace you like. There's not really like level scaling or anything like that. In certain zones, there might be things like environmental hazards or gear that enemies will have that's kind of harder for you to tackle depending on the order that you go in. But honestly, there's not really anything stopping you from beelining to the end of the game. Like you could, knowing what I know now, you could beat this game in like 8 hours. Actually, no, I take that back. There is an achievement for like starting and finishing the game in under 5 hours. So they expect once you know what to do and where to go and the mystery kind of goes away, they expect that there's like a way you could really just blast through this if you want. And there seems to be 5 or 6 different endings. I'm not sure yet because I haven't finished the game, but I'm very close. And it seems like based on what I know and the characters I've interacted with, um, I'm at a point now where I'm going to have to make a choice of who to align myself with. And so it seems like there's like some different endings in there based on that. Lots of branching dialogue trees. Um, the way they do that is really smart. Like people complain in like Bethesda games where you'll like talk to an NPC or BioWare games, especially. You'll talk to an NPC and then it feels like you're interviewing them and they're like weirdly forthcoming about all the information that they know. This game does really smartly. Like every character always has things they're holding back, and you kind of have to earn those things out of them over time. So you'll like interact with these characters two or three over the course of two or three different conversations, and then they will eventually open up more and give you more information. So, um, yeah, I
Yeah.
it's cool. It's cool. Atomfall's
I
good.
like that. I like that mechanic that I was watching you play, and you had this thing that you were able to like manipulate other electronic devices, like through like
Mm.
walls and stuff.
Hmm.
It was like a radio basically that
Yeah.
could interact with like locks on doors and shit. I thought that was pretty cool. Seeing that honestly piqued my interest the most. I don't know how far it goes in this direction, but like it just gave me like immediate like Prey or like immersive sim vibes whenever I saw that. But
Yeah,
I don't know if I don't know like how much of an immersive sim the game really is. It's just one of those things.
it's immersive sim light for sure because there's definitely some things you can do. Like you can, it seems like finding different paths through the environment is a large part of it. And that's kind of the people who are derogatory about what immersive sims are. That's what they say. They're like, oh, which way do you go? Do you crawl through the vent or do you kick the door down, or whatever? That kind of shit. Like that's like the reductive immersive sim meme. But that this game is like that. I mean, it at least brings that
Okay.
forward, and it does have some simulation-y aspects in terms of how you want to deal with enemies. Probably the most interesting version of that, I guess, is that most enemies, unless you're trespassing in their specific base, most enemies don't want to fight you by default. Um, so the very first enemy you come across, they're literally just like, "Hey man, I don't want any trouble. Like just stay over there. Don't come any closer. Stay over there." And you can. Like you can pretty much every enemy in the game unless you're in their base. Like in the footage that's on screen now, they're in their base, so it says trespassing up at the top. So any enemy that sees you will automatically be hostile. But um, yeah, I mean, there's very little like forced combat in the open world. Like you can avoid everything. I think early on you're going to want to engage in a lot of combat just to get into grips with the system, or you may be unfamiliar with how that system works when you start, so you just kind of assume they want to kill you, which makes sense because it's a video game. And there doesn't seem to be any repercussions that I can tell from just killing everyone you see, other than you waste a lot of resources that way because ammo is pretty scarce, especially early. Your weapons are not great, so it's really easy to die. I saw a lot of reviewers talking about how hard the game is. Um, Hard is the wrong word. It's really good at punishing mistakes. Like if you're unprepared or the first time you run into a new enemy, you underestimate them, they will put you on your ass. Pretty much anybody can kill you in like 2 shots, 3 shots. But it's the same
Which is
for
how it should be.
totally. I mean, it's cool. By the way, it's the same for them. I mean, like you can pretty much put everybody down in 2 shots. Especially I use the upgraded revolver a lot. There's like 3 tiers of weapon. There's rusty which is what you start off with. There's stock, which is like only really slightly less rusty. It still looks like shit. And then there's like pristine, which looks like basically a brand new gun. And you know, over the course of the game, you'll kind of be upgrading the weapons. Um, and at pristine, the revolver is a one-shot kill anywhere on the body if it's unarmored, which is fucking crazy. Very satisfying, honestly. You feel like John Wick. You'll walk into a room and there'll be like 4 guys who want to kill you, and you'll just like immediately like just turn the gun on each one and put them down. It's pretty fun. The shooting I think is really satisfying. There is melee combat, which you'll do a lot at the beginning when you don't have any ammo, and I think it kind of sucks. Like most games in first person, it just doesn't feel quite right, and it doesn't really feel like.
They'll figure it out one day, man.
I guess so. Because they start you off with a cricket bat, I was immediately reminded of Zombie U. You remember Zombie U on the Wii
Yes.
U?
Holy shit.
Because you start off with a cricket bat in that game, I think. That game has better melee combat than this game. So
Yeah, I believe it.
but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different tools like a metal detector and stuff you can use. They're showing that right now. I think metal detecting is really satisfying, and it's making me interested in being an 80-year-old man and getting into that hobby and just start walking around with a metal detector. Dude, imagine the shit I could find if I started metal detecting in Central Park in New York. Holy shit. Bro, I could probably find like 9 murder weapons.
You think people just like bury shit out there?
Yeah. There's like forest.
So?
There's like a forested area out there.
Like, I thought that there would be like people constantly like trolling the grounds, you know? I thought you guys had like cops doing that shit.
I mean, kind of, but like at night, I mean, people there's murders out there. Like people do die in Central Park.
Yeah, that's because you're in Central Park at night.
So that's what I'm saying. Like somebody probably buried something out there in the middle of the night. I could go and find.
It's just like how long is it going to stay out there, you know what I'm saying?
Like yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe a guy buried $10,000 in gold doubloons and then immediately perished afterwards. Like he was like, let me just hide these gold doubloons and then I'll get back to my regular job in the meantime. And then he got fucking whacked or something. I don't know. So now his gold doubloons are just out there.
You'll have to be out there every single day then. Someone's going to go find those within a few days.
You think I've never seen anyone metal detecting in Central Park.
No, but I feel like that the cops would find like turned over soil, right? And then they would be like, wow, there's definitely gold doubloons down here.
Oh, I see. We got to add this to our pension.
How often are you even in Central Park?
Almost never.
Looking for people. Yeah.
I'm detecting. I'm in Central Park probably like once every few months. There's closer parks to me. So
See, in my mind, if you bury something in real life, it automatically becomes brown soil with like the grass completely removed. You know?
Oh, I see.
It's like
It's like
and it's a
it's like
lump
Animal
too.
Crossing.
Yeah.
The texture of the soil is like totally different. It's clear that something there's like an X. There's
It's
like a
like
little X
mulched
there.
entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think
Someone's gonna notice
that's
that.
I I think if you did a good job, that's not the case.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like if you,
I mean, true.
I know
If
trying is like an alien concept to you, but like if you really tried to excel, like you could make it look like the ground was like that. You
Was
might
completely
even,
untouched.
yeah, you might even put a rock over it. Wouldn't that be fucking crazy?
That would be way too obvious.
Maybe.
A rock? A random rock?
I mean, there's rocks everywhere, man. Who's to say that wasn't already there? You know?
If I was looking for something important, the first thing I would do is look underneath every single rock.
What?
Why would you look over? Why would you that there's like grass that looks completely untouched,
now,
or
fully
grass
grown
that
tree.
or grass that is completely untouched with a rock on it? Which one are you gonna look underneath first?
I mean, neither, because they both look completely untouched. But the rock is like
One has a
extra
rock
secure.
on it. It's so obvious. It's
I
like
don't.
the most obvious thing you could possibly do.
Okay, I mean, listen, man. I.
Crossley said he's gonna plant a tree on it.
Yeah,
This-
fully grown tree. You're never looking
How
under.
would you get your treasure later?
It's
That's
I
like
know the tree. I'm going under the. I know to look under the tree.
What if the tree is like obscuring the treasure, like the roots of the tree?
I hope it is.
But then you can't get it.
yeah, it's supposed
I
to. That's the whole point.
Are you gonna
This guy's
chop the
never
tree down
buried
and
treasure,
then?
dude. Holy shit!
Yeah, sorry guys.
Gonna
I
be
mean,
looking for
Are
doubloons in
trees
all the
like
wrong places.
irremovable?
well, I mean,
Clearly not.
We can get rid of a tree. We can do that.
yeah, but you never see somebody digging around a tree. You know what I mean? Like if you want to keep the tree intact that you planted, then you'd have to chop the tree down, and that's just rude. And by the way, everybody's gonna know that you're chopping the tree down.
It's my tree.
Wait, are we? Is this still going to be in Central Park? Is that what's happening?
Yes.
Wait, how does a tree even grow in Central Park without someone noticing?
There's fucking trees everywhere. You've never been to Central Park, dude. There's a lot of trees. It's like a forest.
Aren't there people that go there every single day?
There's paths. If you can stray off the path and get lost
That's
in the
incredibly
woods.
suspicious.
No,
I'm growing a tree.
Yeah.
That's
It's
what
a
you
good
tell
thing
them?
to do.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'm planting this tree." By the way, they might.
There's
the cops
there's
might
rules.
stop you. I think you're
There
not
are
allowed
rules
to
against
just
that.
plant whatever tree
You can't
want.
plant shit in fucking Central Park.
Well, I can't bury treasure either. I'm trying to do this on the fucking down
It
low.
would be so dunzo, dude. They'd see it on the security cameras. They'd find you like Luigi, and then they'd go to your house and they'd be like, "Did you plant a tree in Central Park?" And then you'd be like, "Yes," and they'd be like, "Okay." They'd go remove the tree and find your doubloon.
Now that's rude. Removing a freshly planted tree that's going to grow into a nice, beautiful. That's rude.
in the weirdly
It was against regulation.
in the weirdly
Doesn't change the fact that there's now a freshly growing tree in Central Park that's going to grow into a beautiful one. Why would you? So rude. They would never do that.
If you weren't rude and inconsiderate in the first place and abided by the rules and the laws and the regulations of the city, then this wouldn't be happening.
But we're past that point. Now it's there.
I'm also just gonna say there aren't really any security cameras in like the heavily forested areas. You could get away with this. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's possible. So that's Atomfall.
Yeah.
Feels good to shoot, guys. Let's watch this dog food ad. No. I canceled my YouTube premium because I refuse to give Google any money whatsoever.
What did they do?
What did they do to me? Or
Yeah.
what
did they do to you?
I just don't like them.
I heard they're woke.
You heard Google's woke? Is that
Yeah.
why? Is that why the CEO of Google was at Donald Trump's inauguration?
Wait, didn't Google vote to keep their DEI initiatives?
No, no.
No,
You're thinking of, I don't know, someone
I know
else.
Apple did.
Apple. That's who you're thinking of. Apple's the only major tech company that has so far has not become totally swallowed up by this bullshit. Speaking of woke, Nintendo at it again. Um, when will they be
Hell's this shit?
stopped? Yeah, there was a Nintendo Direct. Did you guys watch it?
No, I'm watching it now.
Sick.
We got a new Dragon Quest. Are you excited for Dragon Quest?
Is that
Do
what
any of
this
us play
is?
Dragon Quest?
This
is
is
Dragon
this is
Quest.
Dragon Quest. Yeah, this is Dragon Quest. What 2-3 HD? Is that the one?
Yeah, 2+3 HD, right?
So it's 2 and 3.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie. There wasn't really much in this Nintendo Direct that I was very excited for, other than that side-scrolling old man game
Yeah.
that looked like it was like fully animated. It looked pretty cool.
The only Dragon Quest game that I have played a lot of is 11. Oh, this is 1 and
I
2. Sorry. They already
Oh,
did
there
2
you
and
go.
3. They already did 2 and 3 HD. This is 1 and 2. And I think the reason they did it in that order is because 2 and 3
very
technically
popular.
take place before.
Oh, really?
I think that's true. There's like
So
some
why would
weird.
they bundle 2 and 3 together and then 1 and 2?
I don't fucking know. I think 2 and 3 both are prequels to 1 and
Yeah,
2.
they're all
So,
completely backwards. So you release 3, then you do the last half of 2, and then you release the first half of 2 with 1.
oh, that's what they did?
No, he's lost it. No.
I don't fucking know. I haven't played the Dragon Quest games,
No, I
bro.
mean me either. I
Ha-
was just
ha-
doing some reading.
yeah, have y'all watched the Dragon Quest Netflix movie?
There's a Dragon Quest Netflix movie.
Yes. And
That's
so
No.
I want to say
crazy.
it's Dragon Quest 3. It goes over, it might be 2, I don't know, but it goes over the events of one of those games, 2 or 3. And then at the end, right when like a pivotal story thing happens, you
Uh-huh.
find out that the whole thing has been a VR simulation that someone in the real world has been playing for Dragon Quest 3, and that he's like, I don't know. It basically fucking really shatters the mold at the end there, and I was just like, holy fuck, they were fucking trying something with this. But it was pretty interesting, is the long and short of it.
I I'm so unbelievably confused by what you're saying that I don't even know what to say.
It sounds like a great movie.
So you're implying that the film takes place in the real world and that a guy was living in Dragon Quest 3 through virtual reality?
Yes, and he basically lives through the whole story of the protag, which is crazy based off of what happens that he was living through that, and then at the end, he and us, the viewer, find out it's a VR game because he can't remember because he's in the game. Anyway,
All right,
it's
man.
it's 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 pretty fucking wild.
All right, man. I whatever you say.
It's good. It's decent. I
I
liked
think
it.
I think this seems like something that you like had a fever dream and this
I
but I
uh,
actually I know that's not the case because if you had a fever dream it would be Kingdom Hearts related for sure.
yeah, true.
Um um so the Nintendo Direct. Yeah, as you can tell based on our level of excitement, really not anything that interests me in this. This was on the 27th, so what was that, Thursday or some shit? Yeah, Thursday.
Uh, yeah,
Um
Put that shit up with old man, the eternal life of Goldman.
yeah.
buddy, I don't
It's
even
it's
know
good
what
for
you're
this.
fucking talking about. Let's see.
It was towards the around here ish.
Maybe Merced had a fever dream.
I'm starting to think
No,
so.
no, it existed.
Fantasy Life, Lose Lagoon, King of Meat, The Wandering Village, Star Overdrive, Rhythm Heaven Groove, Pokemon Legends Z to A, Tamagotchi Plaza, Rift of the Necrodancer, Gradius Origins. Eternal Life of Goldman, the one thing that Merced really wants from this. I don't even think I watched this part. I think I was like checked out completely.
Holy fuck, it's hand drawn.
Okay, this actually looks sick.
We need more old representation in video
Look
games.
at this
Holy
shit,
fuck,
dude.
dude. You can change your
look at his
shaft.
soul.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
So for the listeners,
Wait.
not the watchers, this
Is
appears to
this
be what?
uh-huh. Is this Silk Song?
This appears to be Frog Fractions 3, yes. No, yeah,
Is this
I
the
don't.
second one?
Silk Song is Frog Fractions 3. Yeah, Eternal Life of Goldman, it does look like a Hollow Knight. Like it's got beautiful 2D. The art is sort of by way of like those old Fletcher cartoons, kind
It
of.
is. Yeah, it is.
Not overly so, but certain enemies definitely give that appearance. And the
And the like
color,
almost frame rate of it, I think, too, for the animations is kind of
yeah, and the color scheme of it and things like that. Did that weird smoke lady have huge knockers or what? So I think this actually looks pretty cool. It's definitely got some Metroidvania stuff going on.
I hope it's not a Switch exclusive. I hope this is just where it
Why is
was
it
getting talked about.
shit was
I don't
defaulting to
know.
480p this whole fucking time?
I mean, we'll just play it on Fit Girl, but still.
It is coming to
Bro,
Steam.
come
It's
on.
listed on Steam.
You cannot. It's morally not allowed to torrent an indie game. Like I don't know. I don't know who's making this.
I don't
But
want to hear it. I'm the guy that if I enjoy something, I torrent it, I buy it
that's
after the
fair.
fact.
That is fair.
That's the whole thing. There's just too many video games to buy every single one that looks interesting and then be like, okay, I actually didn't like this.
Yeah, but the 2-hour refund policy on Steam is pretty generous.
Yeah, I am really bad about that. I'd rather not buy it and then buy it after I know I like it, if that makes sense. But I hear you. I'ma still do it.
Well,
With the asterisk of I will definitely buy it after I like it. You know, I have no shame in doing that.
let's talk about the rumors that that they will be because the Nintendo Direct is on the 2nd, right? Um,
The next one, yeah.
yeah, Switch to Direct.
3 days.
Um,
Or 2 days? 2, 3.
it's
3.
the 2nd is Wednesday. So there's rumors that pre-orders for the Switch 2 will open the same day.
Yeah, or they might announce, you know, pre-orders go live this time Friday I think they did that for another release of theirs. I can't remember if it was the Switch or something, maybe one of the other Switch versions, but I feel like I remember them when they announced it. They also announced when the pre-orders would go live. Maybe I'm thinking of PlayStation. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I predict soon after this is when people will be able to lock in those buys.
When do you think it's coming out?
Um,
Rumors say June. That
yeah, I
seem
feel like the summer, maybe the fall, winter, but I think they want it before the holidays so that people know it's available to buy during the holidays. So,
Do they even have any big games coming out?
uh,
they
I, uh-huh,
that would be announced during this direct, presumably.
yeah,
So
yeah. I assume we'll hear them Wednesday, and it'll probably be that new Mario Kart. I assume a new 3D Mario. Um, and maybe
They're
they're
making
really
another
pushing.
Mario Kart?
Yeah, yeah, it's the only game we've seen for the Switch 2 so far is the new Mario Kart.
Yeah, that was in the remember we talked about the reveal that the Switch 2 exists. They had that little bit of footage of Mario Kart there at the end and everybody
Merced
acknowledged that.
wasn't here for that. That was the episode he was out.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sucks. Yeah, the footage of the Mario Kart they show at the end of the Switch 2 reveal is not any current Mario Kart that exists. So that's the baseline assumption is this will ship with a new Mario Kart.
That's amazing. Isn't Mario Kart 8 like
Their
13 years old?
best-selling game.
Um
And yeah, it's really old.
it
Came out on the Wii U.
is. Yeah, it did come out on the Wii U. Yeah, I kind of forgot not until now that you're saying that, but yes.
I
Um
figured they were just gonna keep releasing Mario Kart 8 forever, especially since they have like the infinity symbol thing going on.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if whatever this sequel is. No, they can't do that. No, it'll be new. I don't know. I was gonna say I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow tried to keep it going,
Mario Kart
at
8 plus
least in
plus.
spirit. Yeah, but no, they have to do a 9. They have
it,
to
it
move forward.
it seems different only because like people are theorizing based on the footage that the uh like the maps seem semi-open world, so like almost like a Burnout Paradise type of thing where it's like very open, and then like let's say it's an open world or open zone, and then there's like different courses within, so you would like drive up to start a race during the campaign or something like that.
Even like Crash
um
Team Racing had like an
yeah.
open zone where you drive from like race to race and just kind of interact with the map in a different way that's not a menu, or interact with the game in a way that's not a menu.
So who knows? Yeah, but bare minimum, we know that there's a new Mario Kart, whether it's a launch title or not. We're not sure, but I mean that would be probably the best case scenario for Nintendo if they brought a a new Mario Kart like that. Guarantee. I mean, this thing's gonna sell either way, but at least guarantees that there's people who are, you know, a large portion of their audience would be interested in a Mario Kart. Like the overlap between a Nintendo Switch 2 buyer and a Mario Kart buyer is extremely
Yeah,
high. I happen to
yeah.
fall in the I don't like Mario Kart category because I hate all things that are fun. So I will not be partaking, but I think I'm in the minority there for sure in terms of people who want to buy a Nintendo Switch 2. Um I think the June release time window seems realistic. I think our initial assumption when we saw the reveal was May, but
I can't remember, but
but
yeah, something.
I do kind of feel like having a little bit of time for people to pre-order and retailers to get their shit in like their ducks in a row before this thing actually releases, because it is going to be a nightmare. I mean, it's going to be a PS5 situation all over again. I anticipate.
Or a Nintendo Switch during Animal Crossing.
True, or a Nintendo Switch at launch nightmare.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that was
yeah,
crazy. I mean, the fact that I got one at all was literally just due to the fact that I was willing to almost freeze to death in the Chicago, winter.
yeah.
So,
The and maybe this is just my memory. I feel like the Switch original launch, everyone that wanted one got one. I don't know anybody that really wanted a Switch that didn't get one.
I think it's just
It
because
was a crazy launch, but sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think it's just because we know a bunch of sickos.
But
So
that being said, all those sickos that wanted a PS5 were not able to get one without paying like
that
scalpers. And
is
maybe that's
true.
just
You're right.
maybe the
That's
industry
true.
had kind of just moved that direction
No,
by then.
that's a good point. No, you're right about that. I mean, I guess I remember like being having the Switch and remembering that there was like a series of months there where I was like, thank God I got this thing when I did, because I don't
It
remember
wasn't in
seeing them.
stores, that's
Wasn't
for
in
sure.
store.
Yeah,
It wasn't
it
like
definitely wasn't.
available. People
Yeah.
were bitching online like I can't get one. So, but you're right. It did seem much worse with the PS5 for sure. Um, so I don't know.
I think it'll be similar though, that it won't be in stores on shelves regularly for a hot minute probably.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so what else did I have on the topics list here? Metroid Prime 4. Let's jump back into this video really quick.
This shit looks so fucking ass.
Yeah, why are we watching this?
So we finally got some footage of Metroid Prime 4. Everybody was like clamoring for this. Um, I'm surprised to hear you so upset, Crossley. I mean, we've talked about this a little bit outside of the show. I'm surprised to hear you so upset because I saw this and I'm pretty sure it's being developed by Retro Studios again, right? Isn't that the idea? So I thought for
Is it?
sure. I don't actually know. Look it up. But they did the remaster of Metro Prime 1 and 2 that just came out, did they not?
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, they are doing this one.
Okay.
So to me, I mean it looks like that remaster. I mean it seems like the
That's the
same.
issue.
I thought that that's what people would want.
Maybe maybe it is, maybe this is what people want. This is not what I want. I do not want something that is trying really hard to be what already came before it and is seemingly doing that like too well. Like it seems like a carbon copy of a game that came out when I was a fucking child, and like I that hasn't moved forward at all. Almost even in graphics, this like is not doing anything for me where I'm just like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, this looks cool.
Yeah.
I think the fucking overall look and vibes of the other Metroid Primes is way cooler than what I'm seeing here. And then, I mean, yeah, I don't know. This isn't like stylistically doing it for me in any way. It's like, I don't know. There's nothing here that makes me excited, basically. I would rather them do like another 2D Metroid at this point because Dredge seemed to be really fucking cool. Or Dread,
Dread.
Metroid Dread.
That game gave me immense anxiety. I couldn't finish it. I got like halfway through and I was like this is fucking me up. Every single time the alien robots were there, I was like this is
Come
fucked
after
up,
you,
dude.
yeah,
I can't handle this.
yeah,
Um Yeah, I prefer 2D. I've always preferred 2D Metroid games. So, um,
yeah, yeah. I just think it's too late. It almost goes to the Kingdom Hearts 3 thing we were kind of talking about now. It's like I don't care anymore. When I cared about this very passionately, I was a kid. And now we're so far removed from that, I don't even care anymore about this. So it's just like to see it finally, it's like, oh, this is what they've given us now after all this time. It's just like, okay, it was like something special when they first did it, and then the sequel is
yeah,
a sequel, I think is fine. And then 3, I think they nailed it finally. 3 is like I said this all before, but I think 3 is actually great. And it's like the true vision of what Metroid Prime should have been. Uh and this is just like it almost leans into the we're just doing this because
yeah,
we think it'll sell, like people want it, so we're making a team make it. There's no like I don't know, like Nintendo to me, one of the things I really respect about them, even if it's like a game I don't like or if it looks like it's meant for babies or it doesn't run as well, there's like a lot of passion and heart put into whatever the fuck their vision is. And most of the time they're kind of doing something unique. I don't see that here at all. This like literally just looks like we made another Metroid Prime.
It's slop.
Yeah, it looks like fucking slop. Like
this.
actually.
I mean, it's funny that you guys feel this way because I always feel this way, but I'm always trying to be a little bit more kind because I understand that it's been like a long time since they've gotten one of these games, so they're kind of. I imagine a lot of fans are just like, let's just get a good one. Let's just get a new good one, and then maybe the next one after that would be like something totally different. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, to me, Nintendo fans, I've said this so many times, I'm saying it again, and this is definitely going to get me shanked at Central Park when I'm digging up gold doubloons. Nintendo fans are Disney adults but for video games. I mean, they this is all
True.
they want is just this shit again. And I mean,
Slop.
I I'm sure it'll be fun on some level for these people and in general. I mean, it'll probably review well, it'll probably be a good game, finger quotes, but it just yeah, I mean again, this doesn't appeal to me in any way shape or form, so I'm kind of already
And even Yeah, and
Yeah.
even going back to Metroid Dread, it's like, okay, the last 2D Metroid we got was essentially Metroid Fusion, basically, if we're ignoring Other M, which is like the hybrid game that nobody cares about.
Other M was the Team Ninja game, right? That was
I think it was Team Ninja. It's so funny. They dropped the ball so hard.
yeah.
But it's like, so you go back, and by the way, Metroid Fusion and Metroid Prime came out at the same time, same day, way back when, whenever the fuck that was. So now we fast forward to now, and the most recent 2D Metroid did exactly what I'm talking about. They tried new things, they did interesting, different stuff, and it has a lot of heart and soul poured into it. And
Yeah.
even though it doesn't look that fucking great, it's still doing cool and interesting shit and looks like
I,
a
thought-
nice,
I thought it looked pretty
dope.
good.
Yeah, but it's not like,
I mean,
it's
it's a
still
fucking
limited to
it's
the
a Switch
Switch.
game.
Yeah,
I mean, what are you gonna
like
do?
that's what I mean is like, but that being it took its limitations and did something cool with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
This is not doing that. I am not like interested in what I'm seeing just visually. Uh, and so I don't know, it sucks. And maybe there's more to it than we're seeing here. This is like a very small tease,
Yeah.
but it's coming this year. I mean, we're here now. Like I don't expect much more
So
than what I'm seeing.
so what's weird, let's just zoom out for a second to the full show. So they
Yeah.
said we're not going to have any Nintendo Switch 2 news. This is just games coming to Nintendo Switch 1. That weirds me out a little bit because we'll talk about this right after this, but it's their new game sharing thing, which I should have read about before we started recording. So here's me just not having a fucking informed opinion. But the the so to me that says okay, this is a Switch 1 game. It's been in development for a long time. It's intended to target the Switch 1 hardware. Obviously it'll be
Right.
playable on Switch 2.
Right.
It'll probably have some enhancements in terms of frame rate, maybe a resolution bump, that kind of thing. But do we think then that that influences the release date for this? Like, are we saying, okay, if this says coming 2025, is this going to come out before the Switch 2?
I think um I guess who knows? I do think that
It's kind
there's
of
a few
weird.
things left in the Switch's pipeline that'll have some overlap with Switch 2, and the same thing was true for PS4 and PS5. There was some stuff still
Yeah.
in production that came out
Oh, yeah. Like,
right when PS5 is coming out,
Last of
and
Us
that's
2
just
came out the what, 6 months
like
before?
right before, yeah. And
Yeah.
same with Ghost of Tsushima, and then I forget what other stuff kind of had
But
some bleed over into the PS5 era,
Yeah,
but
I'm
there was
just
but
other
that's what
things
I'm
too.
saying. It came out right before, not after. Because it'd be weird if it was
But
after.
there is stuff that came out. That's what I'm saying. I can't
But
remember what they are now, but I think it's like maybe Miles Morales and a few
yeah,
other things where it's like there's a PS4 game of that. They didn't go fully all in. It's basically a PS4 game that runs better on PS5. And then now, like what was it, Spider-Man 2?
I
Whatever other Sony games after some point in time, it's only PS5.
but
There
that's
is no
but what
PS4
I'm
version.
saying is they kind of the messaging around Miles Morales wasn't, I mean, yeah, as you say, I mean, it somewhat accurately is a PS4 game that they brought up to PS5, but also, I mean, they marketed it as here's a PS5 game. It wasn't like
Yeah, and so also there's a launch title for PS5 called Demon Souls, and even after that continued to be games that released on PS4 that were also a PS5 game. And
correct.
similarly, we will probably get a launch game Mario Kart that is only on the Switch 2 and
But
maybe a Metroid Prime that is on both after that.
yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
okay. This happens.
We're agreeing, but the thing I
Yeah.
think that is odd about this is they're specifically saying through this presentation this is a Switch 1 game. But there's a chance it could come out after the Switch 2 comes out, which I think is just a bit weird. You know what I mean? Like, what is the chance that this game comes out in May before the Switch 2 comes out in June? So then maybe really the Switch 2 doesn't come out until December, honestly. And this game comes out sometime between now and then. Guess it's possible. It's just weird. The messaging doesn't really line up to me.
I
Okay, let's
definitely see what you're trying to highlight, which is that basically there will be some confusion for somebody
yeah.
upon these two consoles existing and these two different types of games coming out. One's exclusive, one's not. Which one am I able to get if I still have a Switch One? Like, there will definitely be some confusion there, especially for like any of the grandmas buying Christmas presents and shit. But
Yeah.
that's not going to be us. We might have to look it up real quick for some games
Totally,
because we don't give a fuck
but
about Switch that much. But other than that, it's like this
let's
happens every new console. Like it's nothing
yes,
new.
but
I
let's
don't
use
know
the
why we're
Miles Morales example specifically. That game came
okay.
out. There were two. Well, it wasn't a disc game, but there were two SKUs. It was PS4 and PS5. Assuming
And you
that
think that won't be the case for Nintendo,
no,
assuming they do any work for any of their games?
no, I think specifically
Okay,
this
so
is a
then
Switch 1 game that will happen to
right.
also run on Switch 2. So
Yeah,
there will be
yeah,
one
I
SKU. But what that means is
yeah.
it would just be really strange if the Switch 2 comes out in June and this game comes out in October and it's a Switch 1 game that also just happens to run on Switch 2. Do you know what I mean? That would be really odd.
I mean,
I don't even know why I'm making a big deal of this. It's stupid, but it's just a bit weird. So really what it says to me is maybe the Switch 2 is actually further out than everyone wants to think that it is.
yeah.
But
And I mean, there is I wish I could think of what it was now, but as we're like talking about this, I'm re-remembering. There is a game I play on PS5 that came out after the PS5 that never had a PS5 release. So when I go to play it, like I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but like
yeah.
under the games on your main thing, it says like PS5 or PS4.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And it always says PS4 and it bugs me because I'm in my head, I'm like, there could be a better version of this game one day. And I'm
Totally.
playing this fucking shit. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we don't really know what Nintendo's gonna do yet because they've never really done a sequel console before. So it's always a little more black and white with the,
Yeah.
you know,
They've never
like
done backwards
we
compatibility
could
like
play
this.
GameCube games, but
Yeah.
Twilight Princess was on both, and it was just two different SKUs.
Yeah.
So yeah, they could do anything. I don't know. It could be very PS4, PS5, where if you buy Metroid Prime 4 and put it into your Switch 2, it just downloads the Switch 2 version that
Sure.
maybe does have a higher resolution, or is able to do something that the other one, who knows?
Yeah.
We really don't. We're in the dark here, but I would assume kind of what you're touching on is the truth, which is that this is a Switch 1 game and it's going to be backwards compatible or forwards compatible or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's just the victim of circumstance that this game's been in development for way too fucking long, so it was never going to be a Switch 2 game.
Speaking of, let's talk about the game sharing thing really quick. Did you guys read about this at all? I'm hoping that you did
Briefly.
because I
Briefly.
explain it to me because I kind of get the gist, but I want to make sure I'm not just about to say a bunch of dumb shit that isn't true. So
Do you have
give me
like
your
the
version.
do you have like their official rundown in front of you by chance?
No, I can probably.
I was yeah, I was gonna pull it up just because what I'm not super super informed in it. I just kind of was like doing a once over and I was like, oh, that seems fine.
Yeah. Did anybody download the fucking app, by the way?
No, a new app?
Yeah, that at the end of the direct, they announced that they have an app out
No.
where they would start posting news and stuff. Okay, I'm just gonna have to.
All right, I got it. So, Switch players who buy their games physically are used to being able to share those games by simply handing them the cartridge. Now, Nintendo is allowing a similar process with digital Switch purchases.
Are you on the Ars Technica story?
I am, yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
apparently, from what I've gathered so far, you are able to quote unquote eject the game
Yeah,
as long as you're in a local system with another person. You're
yeah,
able to eject the game from your Switch to the other Switch that is on a local connection with your device. And
yeah.
Yeah.
then you cannot use it on your Switch anymore. They can use it on their Switch for 2 weeks and then it returns back to your Switch.
Okay. And this is true for any people like on your friends list or something like that, or is there a
This
special?
seems to be
It's a
the only thing
local
that's
thing, so
yeah, this seems to be the only thing that's required is that you need to be on the same local connection.
yeah, so it'll be like a
At
household
the
thing.
time when you do the trade,
Yes.
but then they have it for 14 days, so they can leave your
Yes.
vicinity and then
And then
go.
what it'll
Okay,
because
okay.
it's I mean all it's going to do is it's going to write a signature onto the device. It's going to have an expiration date. When that expiration date gets hit, it deletes off of that. Similarly, on your local, on the device that it originally came from, it's going to say an expiration date. This game cannot be used until this date. Once that date gets hit, it goes away, and then you're able
Oh,
to
and
use
y'all
it.
have to be in the same Nintendo family account?
The same Nintendo Family account? I don't know. I don't think so.
You can
It
also lend
doesn't.
out to your family group members
I don't think you have to
regardless of where
be.
y'all are. Oh, is
Is
that
that
Yeah,
what that's
that
true?
saying?
seems to be another thing. So the other part of virtual game
That's
cards involves
OP as
loading up
fuck.
between members of the family. This feature looks like it works the same as far as locally transferring the digital game card file, but the game can only be borrowed for 2 weeks. After that, the file will be returned. Yeah, it seems like
That's really
for
strong.
yeah.
But I think you've actually, for family accounts, you've actually already been able to do that. This is kind of a nerf on family accounts because I think family accounts could share games. Like my understanding was family accounts before actually were able to play the same game at the same time. Now you can't do that. You're actually nerfing it, um,
Uh,
which is
I guess
crazy.
I'm not sure if you're right or wrong about that. I definitely know game sharing exists on the Switch in a similar way to PlayStation, but it's not anything related to being on a family account together because
Right.
I've done it before and it wasn't with a family account being involved. So the game sharing thing I think is more similar to PlayStation. It's if you have your account on someone else's Switch and they have their account on your Switch, y'all can just switch who is active at the time,
Yeah.
download stuff that they've bought with their account,
Sure.
switch back to your account, and then play it because their account's still on your Switch. But this is an actual, like, okay, someone on the family playing with me bought Splatoon 2. They're going to let me
It
borrow
does.
it, you
It
know.
does seem like at the very least, though, even for family members, you will have to have it been on the same network at some point.
Oh, really?
It
Okay.
does seem like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like for either way that you intend to do it, you need to be on a local connection in
Oh,
order to
okay.
establish
Yeah.
Okay.
the relationship between the two switches. Other than
Gotcha.
that,
But
then you can just exchange the
maybe
games.
once the relationship is established, the first initial time, from then on, family
That would
members
be cool.
could exchange games from a distance, maybe.
That's how
Who
that's how it's
knows?
Because
written. That's how it's written out.
if
Is
not,
yeah,
then what would be the point in having a family at this point? Because you can trade games with
Right.
anybody if you're
Yeah,
local.
yeah.
So it doesn't really make sense to me. But
yeah.
um,
That is exactly how it's written out. You just need to be on a local connection for the initial like relationship, I guess, to be established, and then after that, then you just need an internet connection. That's
I
it.
mean,
I
leave
like
it up.
the idea. I
I
mean,
like the idea, but also leave it up to Nintendo to make a simple concept overcomplicated as well. Like the it sounds relatively straightforward at this moment, but I don't know. I mean, what are the
Yeah,
chances they find a
I
way to
wouldn't
fuck it
know
up?
until I like would actually interact with this system, because to me this just seems incredibly similar.
When does this happen?
yeah.
Did they
They seem
announce? No, they didn't. I don't think. Unless you guys are seeing it somewhere, but also this kind of does feel designed in a way that it does mean that there will be different versions of games on Switch 1 and 2, you think? Or no? Like
I mean,
wait,
I don't necessarily think we'll see too much of that, only because they made it so explicitly clear for the Switch 2 release that Switch 2 games were going to be their own thing, and that
yeah,
makes me think that they were smart enough to know they don't want to be caught in that gray area too much. They want the Switch 2 game development to have been started already,
sure, sure.
and they're going to start pumping out new stuff with a newer level of quality that the Switch 1 can't do.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's only going to be a few things like Metroid Prime 4 that have been started a long time ago and kind of lagged in development that are coming out at the tail end. I don't think we'll see very much of that, to be honest, because Nintendo is very planned out. You know, I think
Sure.
they were going to do this when they are ready to move forward.
Yeah, very interesting. I- I guess the one thing that gives me like so the way they're talking about it, it's like, okay, we've converted every digital game in your account to a digital game card, right?
Right.
To me, that says it's a solve for what if someone has the Switch 2 and the Switch 1 version of a game. Now they're at least different cards as opposed to our account system totally being fucked up in a way that means you wouldn't have been able to have bought the same game twice. Does that make sense? It's kind of weird, but it feels like an easy back end way for them to set up for that as well.
Uh,
Because, like,
if they're
let's
gonna
say,
do
go ahead. Sorry.
new versions of the games, I just don't see how you don't just have that as its own listing. So I don't
Yeah, maybe.
particularly.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't see how that's the thing. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. Time will tell. I
Yeah,
could see them doing, and maybe it's in relation to this in some capacity. I could see them doing stuff like Smash Bros. Ultimate Deluxe that's now on Switch 2, and it's
yeah,
its own version. But then again, that would, in theory, be its own listing on the shop and in their system and stuff like that. So I don't know what.
sure,
Yeah, I don't know the true purpose of this other than maybe they just know there's a lot of families that buy this console and then also maybe get a second
makes it
console. And
easier. Yeah,
yeah, it's just another way
that
to
you're
share
limited
games.
to. It sounds like two other consoles as well. So
Mm.
I don't know. Yeah, this Fantasy Life game looks interesting, but it like even in the trailer,
Yeah.
the frame rate is dropping. So it's like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? Goddamn Switch One. Okay, I think we can move on to the list.
Yeah.
Um,
Do
Crossley, you
y'all know
want to
who y'all Uh-huh.
do me a favor? I'm gonna let you
Yeah.
be the holder of the list, the controller of
Yeah,
the
I've got it.
list.
Yeah, I've already got it ready for edits
Bring
and
up the
stuff.
list and stream it, and I'll watch it, and that'll be the visual.
Stream the list.
Yeah,
Oh god. I just opened Steam. I didn't mean to do that.
Steam the
Get out of here.
list.
I'm steaming it.
So
How do I stream the list?
I don't know.
I do it on Discord.
Okay, just screen share that then.
This is it's my private place.
Oh,
No, I can stream it. I can stream it.
I mean, if there's not a way, then send it to me and I can do
No,
it.
no, no, I can stream it. I can stream it.
Okay, okay. Because
I'm
I
just
mean,
trying to
I could put it in a Google Doc or something and do it that way if I had to.
I'm trying to hide you guys, whatever. Fuck it. So I'm streaming.
You
I
could
might as
turn
well
it
just do my
on
screen, I
if
feel
you turn
like,
on
right?
streamer mode. It hides the private information. If you recall from your days as a storied Twitch streamer, as a successful Twitch streamer.
Oh god, how do I just hide this, dude?
Tell me when, and I'll click the.
You're good. You can
You sure?
Yeah. This is my Discord list. Can y'all see it?
Yeah, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop my stream now.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, I don't know about you guys. I grabbed a few that Paul or maybe even someone else had posted in the chat. I just grabbed a few of those that I thought I would want to add.
Sure.
And then I don't know if y'all had stuff in mind, but we can just do whatever y'all want to do, basically.
Okay. Sure.
Actually, you know what?
Uh huh.
Before that,
Uh huh.
is there anything on the list currently? Do y'all have it in front of you? Are y'all
Yep.
able to see it clearly?
Yep.
Okay. Is there anything we want to move around? Because, now we have Merced, a whole other brain
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
in the mix. And, it does feel weird to have
Whoops.
maybe Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank above the Wanderer. Just upon review, it's like,
You think
there's
so,
a few
huh?
things. I could see the argument go either way, but I don't know what we were thinking at the time. No, I'm not sure. Even above Liara is like kind of crazy for me as a
I
huge
should
Mass
not.
Effect cook. And it being me and you and not Merced here, I don't know how the fuck we put Ratchet above Liara. But, at least he's under Kratos.
I was resizing my window and it fucked everything up. If I do this, does it work? Kind of. We're just gonna have to deal with it. Okay.
I think that the Wonder obviously goes all the way up until you get to like Arthur Morgan.
I could see him going above the Outsider. That's
Whoa, now hold on here.
the Outsider is the guy from Dishonored, right?
Yeah, we should probably put in parentheses the game that certain ones are from whenever. I mean, we don't have to do it right now, but you know what I mean.
No, that's what we're here for. Hope I spelled that right. Does Dishonored have a U? No, it doesn't. Does it? Whatever. Y'all know.
I should have been smarter about this
Shoulda.
in terms of
What are you doing?
the video. If I full screen it, what does that look like? I wonder. It probably just crops it. You know, you live and you learn, as they say.
True.
We'll see what it looks like when we go back to look at it. Okay. I like your Discord UI. It looks nice.
It's Nitro.
Well, I ain't paying.
What's different?
I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea. It just looks different.
It's got like a gradient effect in the background.
It's
And
like
stuff,
I do.
like the main area is like translucent and
yeah.
Okay. I've had it so long I didn't know.
Okay, just for the sake of people who are listening, we'll have to read it anyway, and you'll have to read it to me
totally,
because for me to keep it in frame in the video, I can't maximize the stream, so I can't even read it either.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have it on hand in case you do need to look at it though?
I could
outside
open
of the stream.
yeah, that's a good point. I could open Discord and make it happen.
Anyway,
I'm looking at it.
Currently, going top to bottom, 1 through 27, we've got Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid. And I don't remember if we hashed it out at the time, if this encapsulates all different versions of Snake, or if it is specifically like one
where is
version of
this
Snake.
for you, by the way? Just out of curiosity, where are you looking at this?
This is my own private channel that I post things in for my own uses.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you could just add me to it, and then I would see the edits in
No,
real
I will
time.
never add anyone to this channel. If you want me to edit it somewhere we can both look at it, that's fine.
Yeah, we'll have to do that next time. But
Okay.
I think
I can post it in our DM right now
Okay. All right, sure.
for the chat. We'll start here. All right.
Okay.
Okay. And then so yeah, number 1 on the list, Solid Snake. Then we got Geralt from the Witcher series.
It's Geralt.
It's Geralt. G as in Geralt.
God damn it.
Then we got Daddy Joel from The Last of Us, Arthur Morgan from You Already Know, The Outsider from Dishonored, Atlas
You
from
already
Bioshock.
know.
Yeah, Patches from the FromSoft games, Orin from Final Fantasy X, Andrew Ryan, Captain Price, Kratos, Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank, Liara, The Wanderer from that one gamer said likes, Big Hat Logan, Beautiful Joe, Amaterasu, Link, Squall Leon or Leon Squall, depending on who you are and when you discovered that character, Bayonetta, Red from Pokemon, Kite from Dot Hat, Kirby, KK Slider, Yoshimitsu, Cade 6, and Draven.
Most people probably don't know that the Wanderer is the character from Shadow of the Colossus because they never say his name.
Yeah.
True. But those who know, they know. I think we moved the Wanderer up.
Okay, sure. I think the Wanderer could go up. I'd put him just below the Outsider.
Just below.
Damn. Why do you like the Outsider so much?
He is pretty cool.
I think he is one of the most fascinating like characters in Dishonored. 1 and 2 and Death of the Outsider. And I think he's like the linchpin of why that whole universe uh functions. I think like when they were writing that, they must have started with him as a concept. I mean, I can't see how, you know what I mean? Like just having like such a weird god figure in your fiction, I feel like it just makes it so interesting. I don't know. I like it. You disagree?
All right.
I just think he's like a character. But I mean, it's not like Wanderer has like a whole lot of personality, you know?
No, you just like the
So,
game. That's why we put him so low. But
Well, the character has an arc and
he
goes through a
does.
whole
He does.
yeah,
experience.
Yeah.
It's and
there's
it
a lot
is
that I could say about that. But
yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
just doesn't talk, is the thing.
Yeah.
So,
Sure. Um. Okay.
Any other edits, or is that enough for now?
were we like we're only gonna edit the list as is, and then we're looking at
We'll add to
adding
it.
characters in?
Yeah.
Okay.
So before we start adding, do
We
you
should probably
want?
put Draven above Cade 6.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, they're roughly the same tier for me.
Yeah, I would agree. The shit tier.
Why are they even on the fucking list in the
Because somebody
first
fucking
place?
nominated them. Talk to
Yeah,
Josh.
what happens is Josh. What happened poor Josh, dude. What happens is Crossley was just receiving nominations from people and then he would just propose them and we would rank them. So at some point the list is going to become so unmanageable because we're going to have hundreds of characters on it and it's going to be a fucking nightmare,
We
but
could probably cap at 50 and then just start pushing things off the bottom
let's do 100. I think 100 is a good round number, but yeah,
as a
I'm with you.
big number, but we can do that.
I think it's cool. Top 100 characters of all time. All right.
Yeah, as decided by science.
Actually, I think Link is ass. I think you can move Link like basically all the way to the bottom.
I
You
I'd
don't
be
think he's iconic?
He's iconic, but he's not like he has no personality. He's not like a real
This
character. He's
this
like
considers all
fully and
things though.
entirely a self-insert.
This considers all aspects though, whether it's like their impact on, pop culture, their design, everything, not just like how much of a character is it in terms of how it's written. Like it's everything.
I'd be
All right.
willing I'd be willing
I vote for
to
Pac-Man. Put Pac-Man at number 1.
Well, Pac-Man's not better than Solid Snake and actually good character. And that's why Link also isn't at the top.
Link
Is
is not a
because
good character.
okay, so you want Link to go below what? Speak.
You can put Link below Cade 6.
no.
Oh shit.
Do
Okay,
not put
no,
Link
you're
do not
crazy.
put Link
Yeah.
below Cade 6.
Yeah, now that I don't agree
Put
with. I would
Link
put Link
put Link like
below
above
Kirby.
Red. Oh,
Above
really?
Red? No, I like Red way more than Link.
Well, we already had him above Red.
Holy shit, dude. Red should be higher in the first
And I
place.
already told you I don't know what crack we were
Jesus.
smoking when we made this. So
Okay, all right, okay. I mean, actually, I think the list overall is not bad. Okay, fine. Move Link. I'm serious. Move Link
I
down
don't.
below
I haven't looked at
Kirby.
it too hard.
Move Link down below Kirby. That's fine.
yeah, that's
I
where he's
like
going.
Link more than I would say more than Red, Kite, and Kirby. But
Wow,
but
that's a crazy thing to think.
is
You're
it
you're insane.
okay? Sure. I
And
think it's
clearly I was too when we made this.
okay. Yeah, whatever, man. Okay, I think we need
I definitely
if we're
see
getting
how the argument
crazy.
could be made, but
If we're
I think
getting
we might as well just start throwing the other characters in. I feel like it would make this like 10 times easier. I'm not even gonna lie.
yeah.
I
Because if we're
mean,
gonna shuffle them around right now and then we add characters in later, we're gonna have to reshuffle everything.
I don't think
again.
so. Not necessarily. Because if
Yeah.
it doesn't matter which order you do it in, the result is the same. You're shuffling it. You know what I mean? So,
I guess.
and yeah, we're just doing this because we're only reshuffling really because we it's been like 2 years since we looked at this fucking list.
All right.
Mhm.
Who has an ad?
I think you're the keeper of the list. So
Okay.
you say what nominations you're bringing in.
All right, Jack and Daxter.
Okay.
Are they? Do we add them in as like one character?
That's part of the question because we didn't
No,
do it for Ratchet and Clank.
I don't think we
So
should. No, I think they're
so
different
then
characters.
just Jack. How do we feel? Because for me, it's like probably really close to Ratchet, maybe under Liara for me personally.
Well, you were saying that we're gonna like take into account like how iconic they were. I guess what like games industry impact is that what we're thinking about?
Everything, yeah, everything that could factor into why they would be a higher number on this list.
By the way, I changed my
So
mind.
like
I'll nominate the characters for you this time, so you don't have to keep clicking back and forth.
Oh, it's fine. I don't mind. It you
Oh,
know
okay. Okay.
takes 2 seconds,
Okay.
but either
so
way,
we
yeah, you can nominate stuff too. Obviously,
so I guess we're talking about like the quality of the games as well.
Yeah, everything.
it can be a factor. Yeah, if you know
It's like remember
every
how we
Jack and Daxter game is a stinker, that might affect my opinion negatively, but
remember
I don't think that's the case.
this is science, and like all good sciences, they're entirely vibes based. So
Yeah,
so I just you take into account whatever you want, man. Like honestly.
yeah, any factors are valid.
Yeah. So note to future me, by the way, I'm going to change my capture settings to not capture my cursor because it's been all over this fucking screen. I think Jack goes I'm going to say Jack goes above Ratchet for sure at least.
Damn it. Well, he's definitely not going above Kratos. I can survive above Ratchet. I just liked Ratchet and Clank more.
Actually, I'm going to change everything that
You
I
know
just
what?
said and say let's put
Okay.
him actually I like the game more, the first game more than most of the Ratchet games, but I actually do think that there's like a couple of Ratchet games that I think I prefer the character of Ratchet in over the character of Jack. And I think the direction that they
Yeah.
take Jack's character over the course of the three games is just kind of it shows some promise, and I think it wraps up well by 3, but in 2 when he's like really emo, I think it's kind of lame. So, let's put him
You
right
didn't like
below
Edgelord Jack.
let's put him right below Big Hat Logan.
He was literally tortured by Praxis for like 10 years.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
So
lie. I
he's a
didn't
little so he's a
play.
little upset in Jack too, bro.
Yeah, I didn't play those games, but it always seemed like Jack was a really cool fucking character. Like
He is
just
a cool character. He's
yeah,
very cool.
whatever he was going through, it seemed so badass, and I was always like, damn, I want to play these games, but I never did.
I Yeah, I don't
Ratchet
know,
just
man.
seems like comic relief. I feel like he's got a
I agree.
personality, but I don't feel like he goes through like any arcs or anything.
Well the thing is I played up until what I guess Up Your Arsenal and maybe like one or two after that. And there yeah, as far as like him being upset about being the last living Lombax and all that kind of stuff, there's not really all that much
Yeah,
about him or his
yeah,
character or anything like that.
literally, yeah,
So, like, there's nothing that actively happens to him in order to develop any of the personal grievances that he has with himself or with the world.
yeah,
Like, whereas, like, Jack is holistically, his character evolves and develops based on the shit that ends up happening to him and the things that he learns about through his journeys in the world. So, plus,
I,
also, the world for Jack and Daxter is cooler than,
I
the world
think I
for
want
Ratchet and
him.
Clank.
I think I want him above Ratchet.
I think the arc of Ratchet and Clank together as friends, the way Ratchet interacts with the world over the course of that first game is really really good. And then it just so happens that they kind of make it shit over all the other games.
Okay,
But but
yeah,
but
I know what
I
you mean.
and also I mean I do think that first game is really funny and Ratchet is a part of that.
They're all very funny. Yeah,
So,
they're good games.
um, I think new Ratchet is really probably new Ratchet is really the only reason why I moved him this far down when we were first making this list is because I think the what they made Ratchet into in like the movie and the new Ratchet and Clank games is like really generic and less of a character. So okay, sure, we could put Jack right above Ratchet. That's fine.
I mean, they'll be right next to each other.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I could see it either way, really. So,
yeah, that's fine.
I honestly liked the Jack and Daxter games more than I ever liked the Ratchet and Clank games, but I like both, so it's like,
Yeah, I think they're similar for me. I like that first Jack and Daxter game a whole hell of a lot. But in that game, Jack's not really even a character. So
no, he doesn't even say anything. He doesn't say anything until the second game.
yeah, correct.
yeah, true.
So it's kind of funny that my favorite Jack and Daxter game is the one where he's not even really
He
in it.
doesn't talk.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I get what you're saying. Yeah, that's
There's a
fine.
lot. Hey, there's a lot of personality in fucking Naughty Dog's animation style
No,
and
it's true.
everything. You get to see a lot of his emotion and like, yeah.
Yeah,
It's not like
yeah.
he's like not. It's not like he doesn't have opinions. He has opinions. You can see him on his face. He just doesn't say anything
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
whole game.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. Did you have a nomination channel?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, okay. GLaDOS from Portal 1 and 2.
I mean, GLaDOS is, I think, millennial core iconic. I think she has to be.
I think
It's
she is
true.
iconic. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm,
think it's like top tier.
mm-hmm.
I would put her above Patches and then shake it up
Yeah,
from there.
I feel that. Above Patches is a solid start for me. Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Atlas, you're not being Atlas for me, to be honest.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I can see the argument, but we've all played BioShock, so I don't see how any of us could feel that way. But if someone here hadn't played BioShock, okay,
Man,
sure.
GLaDOS is so cool, just viewed removed from the meme, because obviously the meme is like total poison. Removed from the meme, GLaDOS is really cool in terms of the development of that character between Portal 1 and 2. And like even just between those games, and then by the end of Portal 2, what GLaDOS
Yeah,
becomes is like
right.
really, really interesting.
So fucking good. Yeah. So yeah, even if there was no Portal 2, I would say GLaDOS is like a character I would never forget. Has genuine laughs from
Oh,
my first
yeah.
experience of Portal, and is just forever in my memory. And then Portal 2 just adds so much more to that. And yeah, like you said, where it ends and stuff, and Potato Gladys and all that, it's just so fucking
If
good.
there's no Portal 2, she's like Bayonetta area, like number 20-ish on the
Oh, damn, you
list.
think so?
That's
If
interesting.
She's so
with
fucking hilarious in the
with
first
Yeah.
one.
with Portal 2, she becomes like, yeah, top 10 somewhere for me.
Because without
Um,
GLaDOS, Portal 1 is just a physics sim. And with GLaDOS, it's so much more. Like,
That's pretty
period.
true.
Yeah.
Coupled with the environmental storytelling, yeah. Because remember, you get to find like the little
mhm,
cubby holes where the
yeah.
other
Yeah.
test subjects have
Right.
like scrawled on the walls and shit like that. Yeah, that
Yeah.
shit's cool.
Yeah.
What'd you guys say?
Uh,
Right where?
I said
Below.
right below Atlas, above Patches.
Yeah. I think that's solid.
Fuck, I like Patches a
Uh,
lot. But okay, yeah, that's I agree. I agree though.
Patches is honestly really high up.
Patches is so high up
I think Patches is very high up.
for
Yeah.
good
That was the
reason,
first
dude.
thing I noticed looking at this list. I was like, why the
Patches
fuck?
is so based. That's why.
You put Patches up above Andrew Ryan,
Yeah,
which
we're
is
actually
insane.
Yeah,
yeah,
Patches as a
I would
villain.
put Andrew Ryan above Atlas.
Patches as a villain has a lot more going on than Andrew Ryan.
I'm gonna be honest. I
Like,
think
wait, does
hold on.
he?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know
be
because I
honest,
don't
I
know the
think
lore.
I remember Chandler talking me down for Andrew Ryan, and I wanted Andrew higher, at least next to Atlas. And his argument was that we get one moment with Andrew Ryan basically, but we get the whole game with Atlas, and that was why Atlas went higher. But
Yeah.
I feel like the one moment with Andrew Ryan fucking hits a lot harder than borderline any moment with Atlas in the whole game.
I
So
don't
it's
know,
like
man.
That's the
Well,
thing. And
I
Andrew
guess
Ryan's
it's
impact on the world of BioShock is undeniable, so it's like
that's what I was basically going to say is it's an interesting game because it's like while we do have a lot of moments with Atlas directly talking to us, like we everything we know about Frank Fontaine and Andrew Ryan, like yeah, you learn so much about their personalities and their characters without directly interacting with them just from all the tapes that you end up picking up and learning about like how
Ah,
all the
man.
citizens feel and interact with these characters
yeah,
at the same time. But I mean,
yeah,
BioShock's a fucking jewel. It's like literally one of the greatest games that's ever been fucking made.
I
yeah,
So like
I just to me, Atlas as a character is what the game is about. Like it's all of the best thing, everything you love about Andrew Ryan, everything you love about Frank Fontaine, the world of BioShock is encapsulated in Atlas's character, in my opinion. The reveal of Atlas
yeah.
at the
I mean, there
beginning,
is
and
no
then the
BioShock
reveal
without
at the
Atlas.
end. Yeah, I mean
Whereas
it's
there could easily be a BioShock without the Andrew Ryan moment. So
right,
yeah.
right, right, right.
yes, yes,
I
yes.
yeah, I
Fair.
guess I yeah, I to me it's they're in harmony for sure, Atlas and Andrew Ryan, but I think the way Atlas influences the events of BioShock and how you feel as a player and as a character experiencing them, I just think it's undeniable that Atlas is more interesting. But
I think
I
he's a lot
think
more
I
badass.
yeah. I
I think
think I
he's
want to move
definitely.
Patches down. Patches above Kratos
ah
is absurd. We're
man,
actually absurd for that. Like
no,
much less
no.
Andrew Ryan.
Kratos is fucking ugh. Ah,
I will
he's
say before we hop off the
fine.
BioShock thing,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I will say I'm okay with the way that it is right now. I personally like Andrew Ryan more just as like I think he's a badass character that he created this fucking underwater empire, like him as this insane libertarian like freak show of a human being, like managed to make all this work to an extent for a good while and held by his values until the very fucking end. He's pretty fucking cool. I
You're
like him as a
falling.
character.
You're literally falling for the trap in the story. You're literally falling for the game, dude. You're by being into Andrew Ryan. You're like,
We're going to Rapture, bro. You
No,
could
I'm saying he's entirely a flawed human being, and obviously his philosophy doesn't fucking work. But as a character to like literally be so fucking into yourself in that way and being like, this is my life philosophy, this is the shit that I want to do, and I know it's gonna fucking work, and to see it like basically explode in on itself like in front of him, and then to see it culminate in the very end with him just being like, you know what? Now that you've seen all this shit, just fucking kill me, and he literally tells you to fucking kill him. Like
yeah.
I don't know, it's just like
Yeah.
because he has nothing else to live for. His whole life philosophy is shattered in front of him. Like, yeah, I don't know. I think he's cool. I think he's really
Yeah.
cool.
I like that he went down with the ship too. He didn't just like peace out.
He
He
stayed
like
there the whole
the
fucking
whole
time trying to make
yeah.
sure it worked. And yeah,
Or well,
and just
something.
based off of his own philosophy of this hyper libertarian esque like worldview, he allowed it to basically crumble underneath him the entire fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, he's
Yeah. Because he
cool. He's a
wouldn't.
fucking
Yeah.
come on. He's a fucking cool character.
Yeah. I love Andrew.
But we can move
um.
forward.
Okay, who are we? So we were placing.
I would like to move Patches down personally at least
Ugh,
below Kratos.
God,
But you know,
I don't like Kratos that much. I'm fine with moving
Ooh,
Patches below Andrew Ryan.
you don't like Kratos that much?
He's like very fine. In fact, I think Kratos is
He's
a
like
little high.
he's very
you're
he's one of
crazy.
those like I understand he's very Reddit, but I think that his personality, like his development throughout all the games, even in the first fucking game actually,
Yeah.
is
I
a
mean,
well-written character
yeah.
as like gore porny as you could possibly get in terms of like personality vibes. I think he's pretty fucking well written. Even if you were to just consult like just contain him within the first fucking game. Like he makes a deal with the devil, you
Ugh,
know, Ares.
it's just so
And then
generic.
it is, but it's still really fucking cool the way they wrote him and everything. Like he loses his fucking family in like a blood rage and shit like that, and he vows to like kill the fucking gods.
I
Like
think
I don't know, that
I don't
shit's
know. I think the only
It's
reason, like the events that play out over those games, are undeniably badass. I think the only reason Kratos is even on this list is because of the new games. So
Yeah,
like
probably.
is up this
Yes,
high. I mean,
Kratos
Yeah,
deserves to be on the list even without the new games. I do think he would be much lower without them, but that's the whole
I
thing, right?
agree.
Is that what's cool about the character is that he was like edgelord angst, fucking
yeah,
anger, fucking action packed, stupid gore, fuckfest game. And now, as we have grown, we get to see that character and how he has grown. And it's like,
Cinema.
yeah, and it's like I don't know what the game is like honestly if you didn't grow up with the originals, but I did. So seeing that character in this new way and seeing him have his moments where he like wants to freak the fuck out and then he doesn't, and it's just like
yeah,
just stuff like that, much less everything else, like all the actual writing and all the stuff he actually goes through, but just the little things too. Or he'll like, I don't know, just like when he gets like the fucking chaos blades again and just certain things, I don't know, and he'll like look at a thing and it'll play the music, and you know just like what Kratos is maybe thinking based off of how he used to be, but now he's here. So you know, he looks at a thing and has a music cue and he's not saying anything, but you know, like, oh, Kratos is thinking about this really unhinged thing he could do. And then he does this instead. I don't know. I love new Kratos. I love where they took the character.
Yeah. I think those games are incredibly touching. I think
Yes.
they do an amazing job whenever it comes to emotional impact, and I'm not even gonna
Yes.
lie, it's probably those games have probably emotionally touched me more than like almost any other game that I've played in the past like 10 years.
I would
I
Crazy.
think they're
agree.
great.
Yeah.
I would agree a lot more if the second game didn't exist.
I like the second game.
Agreed that Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I agree. Yes, yeah,
I
Interesting.
think
100%.
Okay.
they really defanged a lot of the things that felt resonant in the first game. Like it I understand, I mean the way the first game ended, they basically already knew they were going to have another one. So, but I do think that the way things proceeded in that second game has soured me on the character, on the world, on a
Really?
lot
Huh.
of the characters. There's some cool stuff. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they made some good choices therein, but I think just even the context under which the second game proceeds, I just don't like. I think they could have done more. Um, or less. Like somehow both a lot, like too much happens in the second game, and also nothing of real consequence at the same
That's
time.
so interesting.
It's very weird.
I think it's fine. I definitely exist maybe in the group that like I didn't need Ragnarok both as a video game and as the story and stuff. Like all I needed was that first God of War. That was,
Yeah.
I genuinely believe, a masterpiece, especially at the time that it came out, was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
wow, this is what I want from like a cinematic story action game, like fucking peak.
Sure.
And then the second one is just more of it, and I was happy to see those characters in that story go on, and I was happy to play more of that game too. That being said, a third one is where I sort of finally started in what I think that pool of thought you're talking about is that like I don't really know that I need more, and I didn't really need it with Ragnarok either, I guess, but I appreciate it and I think it's fine. Like the development from here, you know, I don't know that it's necessary for what I don't know. I don't know. Like I guess I see what you're saying. It just like didn't ruin anything for me, I think is where I'm coming from. Like this it just seemed additive. It didn't take anything away for me personally. It was only complementary to what the first game offered. It is just more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me.
Um
But I totally feel you because I don't really want more after this. So like I think you were just there before me basically, which is
yeah.
fair. Yeah.
Okay, based on this conversation, if you guys really want to move patches below Kratos, that's fine. Um
Um, I I kind of do. I think I do want Patches below Kratos. I love Patches and I love the Souls games, and he is like the through line
uh-huh.
through all of them, and a great meme, and I'll never forget him. But in terms of a character, he's not really anything either.
I don't know, man. Have you ever stopped to wonder why he is the way? No, I'm just kidding. He's basically the Joker. Yeah, you can move him below. Yeah, that's fine.
Pog. So next is Ellie from The Last of
Wait, wait,
Us.
wait. But we were placing somebody before we started on that whole fucking diatribe. We were gonna put somebody right below Atlas. Who was it?
We thought about moving Andrew Ryan, I thought, but
No, 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 no. There was a character that you proposed that started this whole conversation.
we did GLaDOS already. We got her.
Oh, you're not updating
Oh,
the one in
yeah, yeah, yeah,
that you
yeah.
posted
That was the confusion. Sorry.
in our group chat.
Oh, I'm in our group chat right now updating it. I see. Yeah. Hold on, I'll post the updated after I get this shit. We're at 31 now, boys.
Are we?
Okay.
Holy
Yeah.
shit. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Putting Ellie in.
Yeah. I had also debated
Where
Abby. That's her name, right?
No, we're not at 41. The numbering is fucked up
31.
somewhere.
31.
There's no 15 or 16. I don't know how.
Oh, what? How did it?
You're gonna have to
Oh,
renumber this at some point.
they're there
Probably.
for me. There's no 14 for me. What did I do?
14 is, yeah, I don't know what you did. I think it's because you were editing both lists. This is why I was like, I could just nominate if it's easier.
No, it's okay. I just fucked up.
As long as they're in
Um,
order, as long as they're in the order
they're
we
in
agree
order.
on, I
Yeah.
don't think
Yeah.
the
Well,
numbering really matters at this point. So
no, I was just doing it for me.
we can just fix it later.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
But yeah, Ellie from The Last of Us, maybe Abby too. I'm okay with adding one or both.
okay.
I don't know which one I want to add more.
Let's not do multiple characters from the same game in the same conversation
All
that way,
right,
so we can
all
at least
right.
have some distance. You know what I mean?
Let's do Ellie then. We'll do Abby next time.
Okay, Ellie. I'm gonna say right below Liara.
Okay, it's so far from Joel. You don't like Ellie, huh?
I like
I
Ellie.
don't think she has. I don't think that she has as much depth as Joel the character has. But it also like it probably has a lot to do with me being able to empathize with Joel, and I can't really empathize all that much with Ellie throughout her entire journey.
I
But
mean, I think Ellie's a really good character. She has, to me, about as much depth as Joel, but her depth comes from Joel. If that makes sense. Like her relationship with Joel is such a driving aspect of
Of the yeah,
the
absolutely, yeah.
narrative. So to me, I mean, this is kind of a meme. Really, if we were doing this like on a true objective measurement, they'd probably be right next to each other in the
I don't
lists. I
think
mean,
so. Honestly, I would
I
never have them as high as or have her as high as Joel for me personally. I think
I mean, we could be like really like we could analyze why that is. Like in a lot of ways, like why does Merced empathize more with Joel than with Ellie? On the one hand, it's because Joel is like Daddy Joel. I mean, we're men. We kind of
I
on
can envision the pain, brother. I
on
know.
on a basic like unga bunga sense, okay, it makes sense that we identify more with the male character of the two. I think if you really drive through that whole line of thinking, they are not that different as characters. Like the thing that The Last of Us 2 is trying to say is,
Well, so even
by making the
mhm.
choices that Joel made, he has created another version of himself in Ellie, who is
E-
continuing forward. It's like a clone, whatever, not really, but it's like a
right.
clone of Joel. It's all of Joel's worst impulses planted into a person who had the chance and the desire to be different.
Yeah.
That's what makes Ellie interesting. And in that sense, I think Ellie is just as good of a character as Joel, period. I mean, frankly, like that arc is just as satisfying, is just as meaningful, just as resonant to any of us as Joel's arc. I mean, we don't have kids, so on some
Well,
level,
even without that though, you do have loved ones and you understand like and at the point that it happens in 2, Joel is a character you care about. And regardless if you care about Ellie or not, more than likely what I just said is true that you do care about Joel, even if you know his flaws and don't necessarily agree with everything he's
okay.
done. By the time the game takes him away from you, you're like, oh, I'm gonna kill this fucking bitch. Like, and that's how you feel, and they do that so well. And then by the time you get to the end, at least for me, I'm like, fuck, I don't want her to kill Abby. Like, and the
Yeah,
moment is
yeah, yeah.
definitely there. Like, she absolutely could. And how they handle all of that is like so, 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 so good. But at the end of the day, I guess it does kind of stem from Joel in some capacity. I mean, it could have been someone else that Abby kills, but it's not. Like that's
I'm
not the
I'm
story
gonna
they
say
told. It's
this
you know,
based
yeah.
on everything you said. I agree, but if you like your first statement, if you play The Last of Us 1 and 2, and you
Okay.
care about Joel and you don't like Ellie, you're insane. You're a sociopath. Like it's like nut job behavior. I would legitimately think that you should have yourself examined if that's the case, because you're a freak. Like it's impossible. It's impossible. They are linked intrinsically as characters. Like they are.
I guess I'm just coming from like the position that like maybe I just mean like care more about Joel. Like even from a story or gameplay perspective, it's like, well, fuck.
Sure.
Now I'm not Joel anymore. Now I have to be, or like you know whatever it is. That's what I'm kind of trying to touch on is the like. Yeah, I don't think anybody dislikes Ellie. Maybe I don't know, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's just the loss of Joel for any particular reason. Like you're probably fucking upset about it. Um, regardless of how much you like Ellie. But yeah.
Yeah.
I think we just see them grapple with completely separate emotional conflicts throughout the entirety of both of their games, you know? Like Last of
Sure.
Us 2 is like Ellie's game and then Last of Us 1 is like Joel's game.
Hmm.
Um and I think like I found the emotions and the things that Joel had to grapple with a lot more complicated and a lot more interesting than Ellie's, which is not to like downplay what Ellie went through or how impactful it was emotionally, because like that game is really fucking emotionally
Yeah,
provoking, right?
but it is essentially
Um,
a revenge plot.
it is a revenge plot. Joel dies, and she wants to avenge him. And in her naivety, she believes that revenge is something that could possibly close off Joel's the burden of Joel's death in her mind.
Yeah,
Right.
Or possibly she doesn't even realize that at all, or is thinking of it like that at all. Whereas like Joel loses his child in the beginning, then we of course, like we see that, and then we move on, and then we're past Joel's grievances with his lost daughter, and we're seeing the man that he became after that, and now he has to take care of Ellie, who obviously is going to have conflicting emotions about carrying with him throughout this entire event that he's only doing as a favor for the Fireflies, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously for himself in order to save humanity. And then by the very end, he finds himself able to feel the emotions and emotionally cope with himself yet again, and also at the exact same time make this flawed decision that is incredibly controversial. You could say either way, it could have been good or bad, right? Um,
I just
just I don't know. I just think he's like more like he's like a more of an onion than Ellie is, and all the things he goes through is a lot more interesting to me. On top of me being, I think, still at the end of the day, at the core, I can empathize with him more. Just the idea of like the shit that he goes through and how he copes with it throughout the entire game, and seeing him emotionally develop to be open enough by the
yeah.
end as well.
I guess
So
I just I think that they are the same. The point of the games is that they're the same. Like and it's through the actions that Joel takes in the first game that Ellie becomes like him, and so in the second game she's emulating what Joel would do. That's the thing that makes that thing powerful is the second game is what would Joel do, and Ellie's just doing it.
yeah,
And that's I think that's it makes them to me like if we were really doing this objectively, then they would be next to each other. So that was really the only reason I even went down that rabbit hole. But I think on some level, I am agreeing with you that I like Joel more. But if we interrogate why that is, I think it leads us down, so many like subjective. It's like okay, well, we just identify with him more in weird ways, or we like the first game more.
and yeah, and it is possible that I could, because I will be playing The Last of Us 2 again. It is
Mm-hmm.
possible that while I'm playing through it, I will remember a bunch of scenes or reasonings
Yeah.
that Ellie has for the things that she's doing, and I just can't really remember them right now. But at
Yeah,
the moment, in my mind, it's just sort of like Joel died. I need to find who fucking killed him, and I'm going to murder the fuck out of this bitch. You know,
Yeah.
like, and that's all
Yeah.
I can really think of, and I can't really think of anything else in terms of her grappling with everything.
yeah.
Especially since once you get towards the end of the game, she has the choice to end the conflict entirely, you know? And then she says, "No, I'm still going to go after her." and she loses her family because of it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, which is obviously like emotionally powerful, but to me that doesn't really speak all that much to her having an extreme conflict within herself that she's grappling with throughout the game. But like I said, if I play it again, I
Yeah.
could change my mind. And I also agree with you that they're probably pretty close together, if anything. Joel's higher, but
Yeah, and
they're probably
that's
close together.
so do y'all like I guess we shouldn't. Never mind. Yeah, it's tough for me. I definitely think Ellie could exist honestly kind of close to what Chandler said originally, maybe a little higher, but like near Liara, maybe a little higher than that, like above Patches.
Sure. We'll go with
Yeah.
that.
Wait, where is it?
So
Above
between
Patches.
Patches and Kratos, yeah. I would even maybe put Ellie above Kratos, but I know you guys probably don't agree with that. So
Um,
I could see it either way.
I could see it, but I wouldn't want it.
Yeah, yeah.
okay,
Yeah, the
that's
science
fine.
won't allow it.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
Men win again. Sorry.
It's just men. It is. It's man brain. I don't know. I can't because I think of Kratos too, and I'm like, bro, like I feel that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to.
Yeah.
It's hard to circumvent that.
You're just so Reddit brained, dude.
It is. It is Reddit brain.
Won't
I am
watch Dune.
soying.
Um,
I didn't know that Dune had anything to deal with manhood. Truly.
It's just very Reddit according to you, and that's why you won't watch it. So it's just funny to hear
Oh
you say,
yeah,
"Oh,
true. It is really
and
Reddit.
everything."
Dune is super Reddit.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
All right.
I have one that we could put up.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sam Porter Bridges.
Nice. I was thinking about him too. All right, bet. So Sam Bridges,
How do we feel about him?
pretty good, honestly. But I want to let you say your piece real quick while I go pee.
I don't think he's like the greatest character ever in the world or anything like that. But I do really enjoy the way that they sort of portray someone who is essentially an insane recluse. He doesn't enjoy being touched by other people, blah blah, like all this other kind of stuff. And then of course throughout the game he learns the power of friendship and he has like all these people that he's able to open himself up to and all that kind of stuff. It's a pretty normal story and everything. I like the way that they portray it in a very human sense. They as in like Kojima. He portrays Sam Porter Bridges as a very human individual, which is interesting in comparison to all the other fucking people that you end up interacting with throughout the entirety of the game. So like with that said, I probably wouldn't put him up like insanely high, but he should probably be higher than like half of these.
Okay.
Like I would probably put him like in the Jack and Ratchet area. I would say.
Okay. How about right
Before
below Liara?
Bro, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I can't remember who the fuck Liara is.
Liara is the Asari. She's the blue girl.
Oh yeah, we could put her. Yeah, we could put her below her. Yeah. I just think he's a really good character, and I think once all this shakes out, he's still gonna be really high up.
Okay.
But he's not like these are insane characters up at the top. Like fucking Snake, fucking Geralt, fucking Joel, Arthur Morgan. I think Arthur Morgan should probably be put up higher, to be honest. Yeah, these are all amazing characters. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be tough to beat some of this stuff, but
I just think it's gonna get so dense, you know what I'm saying? Like that, like if you put him there, he's probably gonna stay there. He's probably gonna stay in that area. And like if we get to like 100 characters, he'll probably still be in like
probably
the top like 20. You know what I'm saying? So
I think okay, I think we've come to a consensus that we're gonna put Sam right below Liara, right above Big Hat Logan.
Okay.
For now.
Like, did we even have Big Hat Logan on here?
I think
I love Big Hat Logan, dude. What up? He's got a big hat.
All that being said, I think Death Stranding as just a game is fucking phenomenal. The character is, you know, he's not like the most amazing thing in the world.
That's what I was going to ask you, if there was another character that you felt was even a better choice that would maybe be higher, but
Maybe Hartman. Hartman's pretty cool. Hartman's the dude who kills himself over and over again in order to investigate the beach, and he's the reason why anyone even knows anything about the beach in the first place.
Oh, okay.
So you end up going to like this like snowed in fucking hut that's at the top of a mountain at like towards like 3/4 of the way through the game, and once you finally get in there, it's just like this super like dark room and like open space hut, and you've got like music playing and stuff, and you can't really see all that much. And then you meet a dude who like basically wakes up from being dead, and then he like talks to you and explains everything, and he's like, yeah, every 20 minutes I have to go back to the beach, so he like basically kills himself, and then every 20 minutes cycles around and the defibs go off on his chest and he wakes back up. It's pretty
That's
cool.
crazy.
He's a cool
Yeah.
character, and he's the only reason that anyone even knows anything about the way that the BTs and the timefall and everything is working.
Huh.
So
Yeah.
yeah, he's cool.
So is that the end, or do we want to do one more?
How are y'all feeling? I could add another, but it's okay if we want to.
Merced?
Well, we could do one more.
Okay.
What was there a good one we can think of?
How do y'all feel about another Sam, Mr. Fisher?
Oh shit.
Um,
He's got to be like a fuck. Damn, that's hard.
It's tough.
I would put him. I would put Sam Fisher above Captain Price and below Andrew Ryan.
I was gonna say below Captain Price and above Kratos, so I'm down with that. I'm okay with that.
It works out because I didn't put in 11 whenever I edited this around, so now he goes in number 11.
I see 11 on there already. Okay, that works.
For mine, there wasn't
I don't
an
know.
11.
I
I
don't know
don't know
what's
what I
going
did.
on, so we'll leave
Yeah.
it. But I think I like Sam Fisher. I think he has a lot more, especially if you take over the totality of all of the games, basically barring what was it, Blacklist, which was kind of a do over. Um, I think if you take him as a character over all the games, he has a much more interesting arc than Captain Price, in my opinion. So that's me.
Fuck yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
uh, the actor who gives him his voice, what's his name? Michael Ironside. Oh my god, dude, what a fucking voice
Yeah,
on that
he's
guy.
sick.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, and every time he's in like a movie too, I'm just like, I'm so happy you're here. He's probably old now.
He has to be. We're old now.
Man, he's 75 years old. Holy shit. He's so good. Starship Troopers. All right. Um that's it. I think we did it.
We totally did it.
I think we did it. We will be back. We're going to take a little bit of a break because I will be in Japan and Taiwan for the next 2 weeks. So, you know, we'll see probably at the end of April. We'll have another one of these. We'll figure out our video challenges. I'm not a video producer. I'm barely an audio producer at this point. So there's gonna be some fun learning curves associated with this whole video thing, but I think
We'll get there.
I think it was okay.
Yeah, we
Yeah, we'll
did it.
figure it out. We'll
Okay.
figure it out. I'll see if I get bored. I'll look into making a script for Python to make the visual shit a little bit better.
Hell yeah. My cat's saying
Because I can't
hello.
imagine. I cannot imagine Yar. I can't imagine. It would be very difficult. So
Yeah.
I just need to. I just need to know the things to interact with, and once I can do that, then it should be pretty simple.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. All right.
Nice, dude.
Well,
Yellow cat, orange cat.
we should ask him his opinion on Sam Fisher. Okay. Um, appreciate everybody for listening. The email address. Send us an email. I put it up on the screen. I always forget to mention it, but we have an email address. It's infinitescale@nerdorgy.com. Um, send us an email. I want to hear how much you hate our list. I want to hear your favorite.
Was the
Uh,
list on screen? Were they able to see the
yeah,
list?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, excellent.
The list was on screen. I don't know. I'm gonna have to review the footage to see if it's visible or not. Who knows? This might all be a wash, and we have to do the first
Oh
video episode the
no.
next time. I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna. This is a dry run. We'll see what came out of it, but we'll based on
Yeah.
this experience, we will know next time what to do and what not to do. So it's all a fun time. Anyway, that's it. Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks to Crossley and Merced for being here for this. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace.